Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country. Who's Your Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Who's Your Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hag Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents, Who's Your Trapper Deer Scents, and Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
Welcome to Episode 8, Season 10, Who's Your Trapper Outdoors. On this episode, we'll be back on the Arkansas line. We're going to do that for probably a couple more episodes, and then we'll go to our semi-live. As I said earlier, our semi-live is kind of being delayed because the crops are still in the fields in a lot of places that we trap. So we're kind of waiting on that. And hopefully, once those are out, the weather's decent enough to enjoy it. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. But looking forward to the semi-live segment of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors. Want to mention the photo contest. Get a chance to win a $100 gift card. All the information is on the homepage of the website. And there is a specific email address on there to send your photo entries to. So very important. Be sure to use that particular email address to avoid confusion on our end. So really appreciate that. The photos are not judged. It's all by drawing. There are 2 $100 gift cards given to trappers and 2 $100 gift cards given to deer hunters. So keep all that in mind and appreciate everybody sending the photos in. I want to thank everybody for the orders, stopping by the shop, phone orders, online, whatever. Sure appreciate that. After all, that's what keeps all this going. For those of you that haven't checked our website out, you might give us a look, who'syourtrappersupply.com. For those of you that don't like to be online or do things online, give us a call. Be glad to take your phone order, or questions or whatever. So anyway, give us a call. And I think that's it. Hope you enjoy the show.
Doubled up. Nothing like a double. Double the trouble. We haven't done this for a while. Yep, been a while. Had a flat set over here in the pines. Charlie had a dirt hole over there. Pretty awesome.
We had that trap was messed with yesterday or the day before. Can't remember which.
Nothing's disturbed this one at all the whole time. Had black gold on this one. What did you have?
That one, Finicky or Vixen Elixir. Can't remember if it was Finicky Feline or Vixen Elixir. Of course, Top Dog Bobcat Urine on both of them. So picked up the stubble. Obviously, they're both running this road right here. The main road is, I don't know, 150 yards that way. Kind of off this side logging road here or whatever. But we'll get the remakes made and we'll show you those. That Justin has his on a drag. Mine is completely staked. And this was caught by the back foot. So sometimes that's because they're peeing there, marking their territory. Sometimes it's just coincidence that's where you catch them. I don't have, obviously we don't specifically know why. I don't care as long as you catch them. It's just like, but I'll say that we use J.C. Connor shock springs on all of our traps, and when they're fully staked like that, and you got to cut out by the back leg.
He's pumping it.
Yeah, and it's taken all the direct pull off that stake for sure, and all the direct pull off of the trap and his foot. So those are, I'm not saying they're 100% necessary, but they sure help on stuff like that. marginal catches, you know, whatever. Plus I think it's easier on the animal, so that they've got that cushion, they got that give. So we'll get these guys taken care of, give them a ride in the truck, show you the remakes, and we've got just a handful of sets yet to check.
Check day 7, pretty good.
You can see that, you filming?
Yeah, I'm way zoomed in.
You can see that shock spring, it's a little hard to tell because it's super quick, but it's moving. He's probably moving that a third, maybe. Quite a bit. So, I mean, that's taking all that direct pull off his foot in the trap, the stake. They do an awesome job. So, and that's just the standard J.C. Connor shock spring. We don't have, we don't have to worry about wolves and all that kind of stuff. So, just that standard one is just fine.
There'll be some coveralls somewhere. Hanging right here. Coveralls here, but that's all rock now.
Pump a new one in.
We're making a new bed for this one. He's got this all tore up along the edge here. The original spot is down to the rocks, so probably just somewhere in here will be just fine. Hug the side a little bit just in case someone decides to drive up here. I'm gonna run over my set.
Filming. All right, so this is the remake. I left everything all torn up. I mean, this just reeks of coyote. When we got out of the truck, you could smell coyote, just in the air. So there's plenty of disturbance, plenty of coyote smell. Might even be too much coyote smell. But everything else is, I just went back, made the set. I did have to rebait. Shallow here because of a whole bunch of rocks below the surface of the ground, so I couldn't get the hole very deep, and I just took this rock right here and I just literally wedged that in there. So that bait, if they're gonna get that bait, they got to work at it. So in the process of working at getting the bait, they'll hopefully get caught in the trap. I did put bobcat urine back down because that smells completely different than the coyote urine. So hopefully we've got 2 more check nights, so hopefully we can pick up another one here. That may or may not be enough time for some to come through, but we'll see. So anyways, that's the remake on this one, and then Justin will show you the remake on that other one over there.
All right, remake's finished here. More of a flat set, closer up against this small pine here. I couldn't really get a good dirt hole in, so I just kind of scooped out a spot, threw some bait in there and covered it back up. Bobcat urine in there for some smell. And I did put just a little glob of Vicks and Elixir in there. So we'll see what happens in the next few days. Pretty pumped to get 2 coyotes in one spot. So good day, check day 7.
Trapping has been a lifelong passion of mine. Back in 1976, I started Hoosier Trapper Supply, and we've had the privilege of serving trappers across this great country for all these years. We carry a complete line of traps and trapping equipment. You can check us out at HoosierTrapperSupply.com.
Leatherwood Trapping Sense. Success speaks for itself.
This is the talker here. So this is the end of check day 7. This is the last 2 traps. Just like check day 6, we had the highlight with the bobcat, the last trap, after catching 2 other bobcats. So here we are, check day 7, last 2 traps, and we got another double. So we had 2 doubles today.
Crazy. Way to finish it off with a bang.
Good. This might be hard to top.
Yeah.
This guy right here is super wrapped up, but he ain't going anywhere. This is one time where the J.C. Connor spring is put out of commission.
And possibly the swivel.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's make the remix.
Looks like he's golfing.
You golfing over there, Charlie?
What?
You golfing?
I'm golfing Kyle crap.
Hillbilly golfing. Alright, got the remake done here. There was all kinds of shrubs back here that he's totally wiped away. So I brought this rock in. Traps right here in front of it. I put some Coyote Carnage. And originally I had liquid fox and coyote bait since it was a flat set. So I went ahead and reapplied that on the rock. So there's no top dog under the rock on this one like I have been doing on several. So it's a little different. Bobcat urine. All my smells on this side of the rock. Of course everything smells, but this is a different type of smell. Hopefully draw them in to check this spot out if another coyote comes back through here. Charlie's over there. I know he used top dog. What else did you use, Charlie?
Finicky.
Finicky feline?
Yeah.
Which works great on coyotes too, so. Good deal. Hopefully we can catch a few more before we get out of here. Check day 7's turned out to be a banger.
All right, here's the remake where I just caught the coyote. This one's staked. It went on a drag, so everything right here is all torn up. Smells like coyote. I moved this rock in. My backing is gone just because he was on a stake. It was a big tuft of grass. Shallow hole. I've been having good luck just ramming these rocks down in the hole on top of the bait like that right there, just where they're kind of wedged in. We used to just, cover it with the water grass or whatever. It's too easy for them to pull that out. But with that rock wedged in there, they got to really work at it to get to that bait. So that seems to be working pretty well. Certainly catching them like that. Used finicky feline, some top dog, and bobcat urine here again at the set. So it reeks of coyote. Probably take a couple days for this to calm down a little bit as far as just the over the top smell from catching him. We've only got 2 more check days, so we'll see how this goes. And this trip, I mean, we keep saying that we just haven't seen sign at all to speak of. Normally you see droppings on the roads or whatever. So in 7 checks, we're at 15 coyotes, which for this kind of country, this kind of trapping is pretty decent. So with little to no sign in almost all of it. So.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
Who's your trapper deer sense? Success speaks for itself.
All right. Talk about fleshing tools, fleshing knives, what we have available. So we've got the little one-handled pelt scrapers. We use these personally on muskrats and mink. Work very, very well. These will work on a flat board, so they'll actually you don't use them on a beam. They're made to use on a flat board. Same for this one here. It's just kind of a one-handled scraper. It does have a little bit of a sharper edge to it. This is made by Weeby. You could probably use this on some other stuff, possums or whatever, but it's a one-handled flesher as well. Then we've got in the 2-handled knives, and these are all made to use on a beam. But you got to use it on a curved beam. So we've got the basic single-edged fleshing knives that are reasonable in cost. They do not have any type of cutting, shaving edge on the back. There's strictly one edge right here. This is in a 12-inch, and then we have the same thing in an 8-inch. To be honest with you, if this is something you're going to get into and you buy these, you're going to want to upgrade probably fairly quickly. These are difficult to, because there's no shaving edge, it's difficult to do the back of a raccoon, the back of its neck, beavers, that kind of thing, where you need that sharper edge to get started. So very important to have that. We saw a lot of these. If you're just doing a deer hide, you know, if you want a tan or whatever, be just fine. But if it's something as a fur trapper or whatever, and you want to put up fur, if you buy this, you're probably going to want, like I said, you're probably going to want to upgrade fairly quickly. So, and then we have some of the other fleshy knives, and these are all 2-edged fleshy knives. So this first one is the Weeby Pro, and this is your fleshing edge, and then it also has the shaving edge, and this is a 12-inch knife. This knife here is a good, reasonable entry point for somebody that wants a 2-edged knife, and kind of just starting out, getting going or whatever. Pretty nice knife, and like I said, pretty reasonable in price. So we have the Weeby Elite. I've used this knife. I like a couple things about this knife. It's not quite as long, but I do like the square handles, and that keeps that knife from rolling in your hands, particularly if you get a little bit of grease on there. It's got a good shaving edge on it, good sharp shaving edge, and then of course your main fleshing edge. You're going to use this fleshing edge probably 80-85% of the time, and then this shaving edge here is like for the back of a raccoon's neck or on beavers or whatever. You're going to use it for that 15% roughly of the time. But that right there, when you need it, you need it. It's very important, that sharp edge. So anyways, this Weeby Elite, and we have this Sable. This is made by Dexter, but it's under the Sable name. It's got the fleshing edge and the shaving edge here. Nice long knife. It's got, I wouldn't say square handles, but definitely not a completely rounded handle. So that's a nice knife as well. And then lastly, certainly not least, is the Necker 600. Been around forever. Lots of people use these, including us. It's got the sharp edge, the fleshing edge here. I mean, it's been a standby for years and years. Nothing wrong with this knife. It does have round handles. But once you get accustomed to fleshing, you shouldn't be getting that much grease on your handles anyways. But anyways, it's kind of a standby knife. And that is it basically in a nutshell in terms of what we offer in fleshing knives. Pretty much got the gamut of, you know, very entry level to entry level on the higher end knives, and then of course just kind of some mainstream better quality fleshing knives here as well. So anyways, give you a selection, give you a choice, and give you some things to think about. All right, Q&A. I'm only going to deal with one question on this one because it's about drying fur. The specific question was, so I'm on a camp, I'm going to take a trapping camping trip. I'm going to camp in a tent and I'm going to trap, and I was wondering about drying fur. I don't have a way to freeze them. That's the question. So I'm going to tell you straight up, that's kind of tough. And it all depends on what the weather is, on how difficult that will be. If they, obviously they need to be properly scraped and stretched. That's the first step. And then at that point, I would keep them out. If the weather is nice, I would actually keep them outside where the air can circulate around them. Air movement's very important because there's not a whole lot you can do about temperature, unless you've got like a wall tent with a heater in it, then or a wood stove in it. That would be great, and I would open the flaps up to get the airflow going in there. Airflow and heat is what dries fur. So the biggest issue that you will run into or possibly could run into in that scenario is if we had a bunch of rainy, damp, semi-warm winter weather. That's the most risky. And that's, you can actually watch, I mean, stuff won't dry, and it sometimes could even like marginally spoil on the stretcher. So that's the riskiest situation that you could be in, and you know, that's out of your control. But that's something to certainly be aware of. When you're drying fur, whether it's on a camping trip or at home in your shed or, you know, whatever, you need 55, 60 degrees. You can go warmer than that even on coon, but that 55 to 65 degrees and fans going really is what's all key. Some guys use dehumidifier as well, help take the moisture out of the air. But basically, that decent warm air and that movement is what you need. On the camping trip, back to the camping trip, if it got seriously cold, in other words, well below freezing, those skins will actually freeze dry. And they'll for those of you that haven't seen a skin like that, it actually gets kind of a white look to it. And it'll show a little bit more of the graininess of the skin. Depending on the buyer, they may or may not like that. So, that's something you may talk to your buyer for in advance. Of course, fur's cheap right now. I'm not sure it would hurt you that much. So, but that one I would definitely follow up with the buyer on how he feels about that. I know that in the northern states, particularly Canada and Alaska, that freeze drying thing is not super unusual. So, that's definitely a thing. So, just keep all that in mind. If you get in a bind and you've got foxes and coyotes or bobcats that you're going to turn fur side out, then I would rub them with borax just as a bit of insurance in that camping situation. And in your fur handling situation, that is not a bad thing to do as long as you don't get too crazy with it. Do not rub it on anything that's going to be sold skin out. But other than that, that's kind of it in a nutshell. So keep those questions coming in. We'll try to get to them. And if you've got that question, I'm certainly sure somebody else does too. So appreciate the questions.
All right, I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Real quick, we got the new catalogs out, sharp looking. You can get one of these if you request one at our website, HoosierTrapperSupply.com, or you could even call the number below here. If you've placed an order recently, you're already on the list. You'll get one with your order, or if you're on the mailing list, you'll get one. So keep that in mind. Also, please follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, of course, YouTube. Subscribe, share, do all that good stuff to support us. And don't forget about the Trap House podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Join us on November 26th for the next episode of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors.